Welcome from the Prince of Peace Parish Choir Loft. I'm Megan and I'm here with Franca and Devin. And this is a little new venture that we wanted to try, kind of a discussion type series about different things in our parish or in the church overall. And we thought it might be an interesting series to have with members of our parish discussing these important topics. So the first topic that we want to discuss for this episode was Holy Week, and since we're approaching on that very, very quickly, and Devin, I have to toss to you for the name of the show because you came up with it, and I don't want to take credit for it, but we decided to call this show Pop Culture, not like popular culture, but like Prince of Peace culture, and what's going on in our church and the whole of the church, not just Prince of Peace, but so thanks, Devin. You're always there with the creative little taglines. So when we were focusing on Holy Week, and it really took us back to this time last year, because it was just after we shut down for the pandemic. And we were talking about this first episode kind of being, how do you celebrate Holy Week in your homes? Like, we wanted it to be something a little bit more personal. Not that we're gonna not stick some good little theological nuggets in there, but so I know we all thought back to this time last year and we were stuck at home. We weren't able to receive the Eucharist. We weren't able to take part in some of the most liturgically rich celebrations in the entire church, in the entire year of the church. So we were talking about where we were last year at this time and what we did last year. And Devin, I really liked your Holy Thursday cleaning house story.
I did. Well, I think first of all, last year, because remember, everything was like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, oh, everything will be fine in 2 weeks. The COVID will be gone in 2 weeks. So I think the first thing was the shock that we had gotten past those 2 weeks, which would have been about fourth Sunday of Lent. Because I think we were here for the second Sunday of Lent. And there's no end in sight. You know, now here we are a whole year later, and, you know, hindsight is 2020, no pun intended. But I think, first of all, it was the shock and the reality of you're not going to be able to be there. So, yeah, like when I just remember vividly on Holy Thursday, just cleaning my house. I don't know why. And not like just, okay, dusting here or there, but just really like getting ready to have Holy Thursday in my four walls.
Yeah.
Which again was kind of a culture shock. And again, it's something I didn't prepare for, but there's just something about that. I was like, this is a special mass. This is something I need to be ready for it to really enter in. And that's what I did. There's no rhyme or reason, but just something compelled me to, I don't know, just ready my home, you know, to maybe welcome the Lord, you know, through the mass virtually, you know, on that very special night.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because since the pandemic, I have created a couple new habits that I never would have thought of before. Yeah. Like, I think I expressed this to you guys before. I like to have the liturgical colors somewhere in my home. Mm-hmm. Like right now on our kitchen table, we have like a little brown, like wooden platter, and then I have a purple cloth over it, and I have some purple flowers and some of my personal craft things that I made, but that says, repent and believe in the gospel. So that's like our little like Lent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it just constantly reminds me to like stay focused and, you know, have a great Lent. Mm-hmm. And but I love that Holy Thursday story so much. Like, it's so funny, but it's like you're getting ready to like bring this into your home. Yeah. And there's so much packed in that Holy Thursday liturgy. Mm-hmm. Like, if you haven't ever been to it, you really should join us for.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like, and people don't realize the significance of it. Like, the institution of the Eucharist, the institution of Holy Orders, like all that great stuff, you know, that Jesus gave us that night, and just all that cool stuff that happens on Holy Thursday. And then kind of we move into this really somber period, moving into Good Friday, where there isn't what we would know as a Mass.
Well, there's no Mass.
Right.
You know, we have no Mass on.
Right. It's a liturgical action, or, you know, whatever anybody else calls it. So, I know that we all not necessarily, I don't want to say celebrate, but we all focus on Good Friday in a different way. And you had brought up, Devin, the Passion of the Christ. That was something that you watched to get yourself into that focus. And one of the things that we talked about that I think helps me the most is putting myself in the shoes of those folks, the disciples, or, you know, Jesus himself. Because one of the things that I think people take for granted and don't realize enough is that these were real people, and this was real pain. And, you know, when they're looking up at Jesus being crucified, thinking, what do we do now? We dropped our lives to follow this man, and now what? Now what? Like, I know personally, I would have been terrified at that point. Like, okay, so is he gonna come back, or what? Is this it? Like, what?
I think too, that's one of the things too I love about Catholicism, is that we're not just a pick your own, you know, celebration sort of church. You know, it's not, I don't design the Mass, I don't pick the readings, things like that. I love that the readings are given to us. So what a great opportunity to take those readings that Holy Mother Church gives us and read them in advance, you know, and do like a Lectio Divina of that, and look at those readings. And like Megan said, put yourself in those places. Think about Mary Magdalene. Think about, you know, make it like a five senses experience in those readings. What would you smell? What would you taste? How would it feel? The dirt underneath your feet. People are yelling. I mean, kind of really put yourself into the chaos of the crucifixion. And if you do that before you come to these services, they're just going to illuminate in a whole new way when you have that on your heart and your mind, and then you're here experiencing it with the rest of your church family.
And how many of us don't adequately prepare for that? You know, we have work, we have kids, we have families, and it's like, oh, that's right, we have Mass on Holy Thursday, and you haven't actually prepared for that. And think about how much more powerful it could be if we did take the time. Because for many years, I didn't prepare myself. You know, it was just, got to get it done, and got to get to Mass. And really thinking about it ahead of time really is a complete game changer, because it puts you in a whole different headspace and frame of mind.
And the idea that really, if you think about it, like Holy Thursday is not a holy day of obligation. Isn't that kind of wild?
That is crazy.
And it's so funny, but people think like Ash Wednesday is, you know. So it's kind of interesting. But, you know, again, I think we need to think about elevating those for ourselves. And even though Holy Mother Church doesn't call them a holy day of obligation, we need to consider it, you know, as such, and try to be here and try to be with our brothers and sisters as we enter deeply into these mysteries of Holy Week.
Right. And like you said before, the church in her wisdom has created these liturgies specifically for these purposes. So there's a reason for everything. And I mean, you'll see stuff at these liturgies that you haven't ever seen before. It's not going to look like a normal Mass on a Sunday. So it's a really cool time to come and experience those things. And then maybe if you want to know the why, go back and, you know, say, why did we do this? Why was there washing of feet? Won't see that this year. You know, why do we do the fire at the Easter Vigil? What's the purpose behind it?
And how many people have never seen or witnessed that?
Yeah.
They just think it's just Mass. It's the same old, and they're missing out on so much.
Yes. And then, like, so moving into that time to Holy Saturday, and I think it's like until the night, it's one of the most forgotten days, and it's one of my favorite, because it is just, it's such I make it a quiet day for myself. And I know everybody has different practices, how they like to mark that day. But I make it a quiet day for myself, try to fast from, you know, TV and radio and things like that, and just meditate on what we're about to experience at the vigil. And there's a quote that I love so much. It's this is about Holy Saturday. On earth today a silence, because the King is asleep. God has died in the flesh, and hell trembles with fear. I love that
That's such a
so
good
much.
word.
And
Beautiful.
that is just like my meditation for Holy
Yeah.
Saturday. I literally have chills right now.
And I think that's such a good way to, kind of like you were saying, what can we do in our homes to unite here with the house of God? You know, whether it is fasting from images, you know, we have all of our statues and all of our beautiful religious imagery, you know, covered right now. If you have a crucifix, cover it in your house, you know, and then unveil it, you know, on Good Friday. There's things that you can borrow from the practices that we do here in the church that you can do in your own home, whether it's meditating, fasting from, you know, TV, radio, whatever. Maybe it's listening to a rosary, but again, you know, you can cover the images in your home. If you have a picture, turn it around, do something like that, again, to kind of say, what can I do in my own home? Whether you're going to celebrate virtually or if you're going to join us here at church, I think there's things you can do to really kind of make the experience real in your own home. Again, either whether you're here or whether you're celebrating at home.
Yeah, definitely. And then, you know, at night, entering into the Easter Vigil. And, they call it the solemnity of solemnities for a reason. And we don't, in this short little discussion that we want to have, we don't have time to go into all of those things. But just teaser, come to the Easter Vigil. Because there's just so much, there's so much theological richness in that liturgy. It's incredible. And maybe sometime we'll make something and discuss that in detail a little bit more.
Just break apart the Easter Vigil.
Yeah.
But even then, again, you know, but if you can't join us, you know, keep your house dark while you're watching the Easter Vigil. And then light candles. Sit there with a candle lit. And then, you know, try to enter into what the atmosphere must feel like here. I just think there's a lot we can do. You know, even, or like you said, prior to connect ourselves. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people think the Easter Vigil is so long. There's all these readings, all these responsorial psalms, but it's really a treat. And like Megan said, you know, go out, read about it. There's so much history behind the ritual, which is just really, really fascinating, and to be able to see it firsthand, it's really something else. And I think because it is so different, it's going to keep your attention, it's going to keep you asking why, and it's going to allow you to really enter into those mysteries.
Yeah, the readings will definitely be a treat this year because I'm reading Devin.
Oh, there you go.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So I think we had a great little discussion tonight, and we really wanted to talk about, you know, how we celebrate Holy Week in our homes and with our families. And we really hope that you'll come here and celebrate with our parish family as well. We'll all be here.
Come join us.
So you do have to make reservations for our Holy Week celebrations, but Georgianne will get you in there. She's, you know, our supercomputer secretary. So, so just call the parish office if you'd like to make a reservation for one of those masses. And we'd like this to be an ongoing series. We have several other people that will join us in future episodes. So we have some ideas that we think will be fun, but if you have any ideas, feel free to message our parish on Facebook, or just let us know, because we'd love to discuss different topics that everyone's interested in. So thanks, guys. I think it was a great, I really appreciate everyone that helped with this first episode. Rose helped with some background information, of course, Devin and Franca. Our executive producer, Ken, and our director, Georgianne. So thank you so much.